All right, so here we are with the 68 split bench, and we're going to go ahead and take this thing apart. I did research this a little bit. There's not a lot out there on the interwebs about taking these apart. There was one video, the guy definitely saved me some time investigating this, but essentially we're going to start down here on the side. This one's already exposed. This has got a piece of wire on it. I'm not convinced. Oh, never mind. No, it is. It looked like a nail there for a second, but some of these have a keeper on that slides on there. I imagine that this probably came off at one point, maybe. And so now it's got a washer and a wire on it. The other side, it's still got the factory, let me get some light, trim piece on here. And so we're going to have to take that off. I think it snaps on there. I'm going to get a trim removal tool, screwdriver, whatever, pop this off and see if we can get in there. So yeah, that was pretty easy to come off. These are kind of hard to find. So medium blue is the interior color. And there's the actual factory keeper. I imagine the other one came off over time. So that'll slide off this and allow you to basically take that piece off. So, let's see here. I guess we'll start here on this side. I'm going to take that keeper off. Try not to lose it. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this seat forward. And got to find the special spot and it'll come out. So I'll show you what that looks like and all that good stuff here in a second. So basically used this little pick, got in there and just kind of kept working it around and eventually just popped off. Now the mechanism on this works. So back here on the back, there it is, we lift up. Now this will go all the way forward, which it really didn't travel that far before. No, it did, never mind. And this is going to be the hard part, is showing you guys how to do this one-handed, but once you work it down here real low, now what you can do is basically pull this out, and I wish I could zoom out more, but I can't. And then, yeah, the back of the seat will come off. So let's see if I can do that. All right, so kind of out of breath because I've been wrestling this thing for probably 10 seconds. And this piece is off now. There was, inside of this hole right here, this little trim fastener. So let's show you that real quick. It goes through there, and then when you put this back on, a little hole where this fits. So, all right, yeah. I don't know why I'm so out of breath. But you can see, you get to this point, you're like, oh, I should just pull out. It doesn't. Okay, so what's going on is inside of here, this little bar goes into this box. I don't know if that box comes off or what, but it's not that big of a deal. I doubt it, actually. But there's a keeper on here, according to the video I watched. So you have to kind of find the open spot, and it comes out. So let's give that a go. So there is a chance you're tuning in this video just for this part here if you're doing this job. There it is. See how this part sticks out? So you basically just rotate it. I kind of work the seat up and down, back and forth, and doing all that at the same time. And it works its way out of that little hole. So if I can get down here, you can see it's pretty much round all the way around. It's probably shiny spots, probably where I nicked it. This isn't going to come off until the other side comes off. So great news, we have one of them off. And I can't wait because there's all the upholstery, burlap, everything we need. Look at this. Not exactly what I thought I was ordering, but I think I got the upgrade for free. So, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. One side done, onto the other. And basically, we will take that little wire off and repeat the process until we get the other side off. Great news. Both of them are off. Step one. Well, technically step 2, because you will want to get the seat out of the car. And in this process, I'm not going to lie, broke most of the bolts. It is what it is. I'll cross that bridge later. I mean, they're just bolts. So, next step. I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom first. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll figure it out. There's not a whole lot out there on the internet on these split benches. So, we're going to start by removing the hardware. And these stoppers, you can actually buy these through Classic Industries. Nothing wrong with those. Here's that bracket where those seat pieces went in. And the plastic laying over there, still pretty good. Seat belts, nasty. Yeah, like crunchy nasty. That's awesome. Yeah, that's not going to return back. There it goes. All right, so anyway, yeah. It's a pretty blue color, but these are probably going to need to be pressure washed and everything else. Might take this to a car wash and use their soap and yeah, pressure wash them at the car wash. So it's November, and I don't really want to get a pressure washer out, so I'll just use the one over there, drop some quarters in. So we're going to take this hardware off. This is pretty self-explanatory. I have not looked actually underneath the seat yet. Nothing too crazy. We can see where the seat belts go in here. Okay, so they have slits cut. That's good information to know. Little burlap down here. The new seat foam's over here. That's actually the back seat. Front seat's still in the box. So, man, I am stoked to get this done. Hardware-wise, also, we are going to clean this up. So we've got a few things we're going to do there. Of course, the dog's barking. That's great. So, yeah, you know, hit this, get it nice and clean. Hit it with some Rust-Oleum, get it black. And, yeah, should be able to go from there. Seat adjuster, make sure that's working the way it should work. And, yeah, go from there. All right, so the next thing that I've done is I've gotten in here and removed the springs and soaked the hardware with a little bit of PB Blaster. And took some pictures so I know where this goes. The one thing I think may be stuck right now, zoom out, is this piece here. It's like the lock for the passenger side. And right now it's not moving at all. There was a wire that connected over there to the other side. And yeah, so before we can get into the actual upholstery and ripping this old stuff off, we're going to have to take off this. So these are two springs that came off of it. I got pictures of where they go. You can probably rewind the video and see if you're not sure or you lost yours or replacing or whatever. Yeah, so just a couple bolts in there that I can see. I don't see anything else. So we'll take those off and set this to the side because we are going to clean that up at some point. I don't think you need to see that part of the video, so I'll go ahead and skip that for now. All right, so on this step, got a few things done last night, and next night, got to cook dinner and all that fun stuff. So here we are out here about 8 o'clock at night. And now it's time to take out the hog rings around here and remove all of this stuff. And I'm not going to bore anyone with all of the little details of it. We got a couple things here. On the front side, we've got a Phillips. I can tell there was something here originally. And look, I'm not sure what this plastic piece goes to. If you're watching this video and you're like, oh, that's the whatever, let me know. And then I've got these hog rings, and basically if you look, they're just, you got the listing wire and all that fun stuff. New vocabulary that I've learned researching how to do this. Like I always say though, with YouTube, there's nothing you can't do yourself. I don't know what this upholstery job would cost at an upholstery shop, but I'm just paying for material. So it might look okay. I don't think it's going to look terrible when I get done. But, you know, either way, save some money. The average person at a car show isn't going to be like, wait a second, you totally did this in your garage. No, they're going to be like, cool car, love it. And I hope everybody out there has an opportunity to do something like this too. So we're going to go all the way around this. We're going to remove these hog rings. See, they're down here. There's the listing wire. I'm going to take these screws out first and then go around and work those off. I did take some pictures, especially with this fold right here, because I want to make sure that I get the fold correct with the new set in the box. So if you've got a set or whatever at home and you're curious, that's what it looks like. The other side's pretty much the same. You can see they basically just pulled this up and over and then hog ringed it on right there. Right here to pull it tight, you can see they use another hog ring. And yeah, so I'm going to get in here, take these seat belts out, and just work my way around. I tried to find my side dikes, and I have no idea where those things are. So I guess I'm buying another pair. I don't know. We're going to try it with needle nose. Well, that worked all right. This is a hog ring, though, if you're curious. All of these have to be removed. I got a new set, Amazon, and yeah, we're going to put those on in their place. They're nice and shiny still, not all rusted up like these guys are. So anyway, I guess just keep watching, and we'll fast forward through all this nonsense. I don't have time lapse and all that other fun stuff, but you get the idea. Literally just working my way around, pulling out hog rings so that we can go to the next step of this. All right, as y'all know, I'm fiddling my way through this seat. Lots of these rings coming out. Yeah, so one thing I noticed as I was going through here, and I thought it would be good, I did figure out where those plastic pieces randomly came from. Yeah, coming from here. I don't know if those are replaceable. I don't know that it even matters. Let's just be honest for a second. Anyway, so I'm sitting here pulling the seat off. I'm trying to figure out what the best angle is for you all at home. Clearly on this side with the listing wire, it doesn't want to come off, so start from the back of the seat. And as I was taking it off, this right down in here, kind of hard to see, but it is connected down in here too, all the way along. So you cannot just start peeling this stuff off like I was attempting to. Basically, we got the big stuff off that was connected into those springs there. As we got that off, start coming through here. Noticed, yeah, maybe I can switch it around. It's hooked in there. So, something important to note for when we put the new stuff on, that we need to get underneath here and hog ring onto the ends of these springs. So anyway, just want to bring that a quick update there as I was taking this apart. Other than that, I mean, it's coming apart. And boy, it's going to look great when we're done. So, keep on keeping on. Alright, so we've got the cover off, and now we're on to the foam. Wasn't too terrible to get off of there. A lot of those little rings. And now we're going to work inside of here. There's still some more of these hog rings basically holding this foam into place, and the burlap underneath. So we're going to go through and see, really, here T, hold this for me and focus it. Pass it off to my assistant cameraman. Yeah, you can see there's basically, pull this off of here. We got this material, this foamish. Seen people use blankets for this before. And then underneath that would be the burlap. So that's the order in which this is going to go. So we'll get this off. I thought this would actually be thicker foam. I don't know why, just sitting on the seat and everything. So this gives me confidence in what I have, which is a thinner foam like this. But you can see it's pretty worn. And even if you were to reupholster this, probably not a great idea to keep this foam, even as expensive as the foam is. So we'll go ahead and we'll get this off. We'll probably get the new foam on tonight. Yeah, probably. All right, so here we are with our cleaned up seat belts. The wife took some dish soap to them. They still have, I mean, a few marks in them and stuff. It's not the end of the world. I'm not crazy concerned about it. Bothers me enough at a later date, then I'll use some more stuff on it. So basically, we're going to feed those back through. I marked on here SB, so the seatbelt came through that little opening. We got a bunch of burlap I got off Amazon over there, and then the other thing that we have is a blanket. So there's some different ways you could do this. They used the thin foam from the factory, and then of course the foam actually on top of that. I'm going to leave this existing burlap, and the reason I'm going to leave it, and you know, in the comments, if you think I'm crazy, dumb, whatever, go ahead, comment. That's fine. But the reason why I wanted to keep it is it's got this wiring going through it. And I'm going to vacuum this up a little bit more too in between videos. But I'm going to lay the burlap over this so I don't have to mess with all these little wires that go all the way around it. I think I'll accomplish the goal regardless. Put the burlap over, protective layer, put the blanket over that. We're going to hog ring it in just like it is current. Well, a few spots here it's hog ringed in. We're going to do that. And then, yeah, kind of go from there. But that's our next step. Now, and what I'm going to do is actually feed the seat belts back through again. And the reason why I want to do that is just to keep everything lined up. I think it's going to be easier to feed it through now. It was really easy taking it off. So if I go ahead and just do that now, then we'll kind of put them towards the back of the frame, and everything should be good to go there. So that's the plan going forward. And yeah, this is like day 3 or 4 of doing this. I've been kind of breaking it up. So I will come back to this with the seat belts through. And TJ wanted to say hello to everybody. I'm going to pull the seat belts through, go ahead and lay the burlap. And all I'm going to do is take that burlap, lay it over it, cut it to basically roughly the same dimensions. This is what's already there. Lay the blanket over it, and then go through and use our hog rings for the first time. And we'll start cinching that down. All right, YouTube. TJ is the camera guy for a moment. And that's helpful because I need 2 hands for this job. So what we did is we've got this laid out. This is our blanket over our burlap. And now we're going to proceed to use this. The hog ring pliers. And the set I have came from Amazon. Good reviews, all that good stuff. Never actually used these before. This is a spring-loaded kind that actually holds it in place, as you can see. And basically what we're going to do now is tie down our material, like so, into the spots. And we're just going to go around tacking this down, basically where the original stuff was, and get that all the way around. That should protect the foam. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm probably going to run out of rings, so that's just part of it. But you can see this is probably going to be the most time-consuming part of the entire job, because you have to load each and every one of these, find the spot, clip it in. TJ, if you can get that there. You want to make sure you get all the material in the the little hog ring crimp. And that's pretty much it. So not something that you can't do yourself. You just got to get your hands on a set of these from Amazon, or I don't know where else, but Amazon. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to go around, I'm going to do this. All right, so here it is, the initial step here. Basically, the burlap blanket's down. It's got some fringy edges on it. I'm not worried about that. We're going to basically wrap that with the new seat cover. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm debating on how I'm going to do this next step. If I'm going to do it on the floor or not. I have a table I can put up, and that may be my best bet. So I'm going to figure that out. The little Amazon hog ring guy did a great job. And I just kind of spread these out. You could put more if you wanted to, I guess. I don't think there's a rule that says how many you can or cannot have. That's just kind of how I spaced mine out. And of course, I'm not an upholstery expert. If you're watching this and you think I'm an expert, I'm sorry to inform you I'm not. So we'll see how it turns out, though. We include all that in the video, so you can judge for yourself if my method works. All right, so we have the foam, as you can see, on top of what we stopped with last night. And one of the reasons why I kind of delayed this video is because the foam doesn't quite reach. Now, I don't know, this is my first upholstery job, so I don't know if that's just the way they are. I thought maybe because it had been sitting in that box this direction, maybe it had shrunk down, I don't know. So I mean, it's got some stretch in it, so we're probably gonna have to stretch it out a little bit. Looking at kind of the foam we took off, it came back to about right there, kind of underneath there. And so we're going to, yeah, basically do the same thing. Take our hog rings around the foam and hog ring the foam down on there and go from there. So I guess I need to scoot back a little bit. Here's the new seat cover, and we are going to start on the front here. And it's a tight fit. I mean, I think you can pretty much imagine it's brand new. It's never been on before. And it's got this vinyl here that's going to be, you know, a little tough to pull on. So if you followed my DIY boat seats, you know that if you're dealing with this vinyl stuff, heat gun, very helpful. So same heat gun from that video, and we're going to use that. I just can't help but touch this. It's so nice, brand new. We are going to flip this over. And I'm one-handed today, so I'm going to, excuse me, I'm eating Chinese food. I'm going to flip this over, and I'll show you the bottom, but all we're going to do is flip it over. All right, with it flipped over, what we're going to do is we're going to start here in the middle, pull this up, and we got to get it nice and tight. Corners, everything, but we're going to start right here in the middle, and we're going to basically work our way. Kind of think like, you know, bolting on a head. So we'll kind of work, you know, in somewhat of a pattern. So we'll start here. We've got these cuts all along here that this is supposed to go in. Now, one thing I will say is this did not come with a listing wire. And so we're just going to use this material here. We're going to make sure we get on the other side of the seam. We get a good chunk of it when we do hog ring it in. I tried running some electrical wire, and this is too limp to do anything. So I gave up on the electrical wire. I thought maybe I could feed it through there, but it just doesn't want to like feed like that. So yeah, we're just going to try it with this. And like I've said, ladies and gentlemen at home, I am not an upholstery expert. If you're looking for expert advice on how to do this, yeah, you might want to check a different channel. But, yeah, this is the Southern Indiana method. So we're going to take that and we're going to get it real tight on here. and then we're gonna hog ring it in there. So I need 2 hands to do this. I'll preload my little hog ring pliers, get it nice and tight, and then fasten it in there, getting as much of this material as I possibly can. And then as I work it out, either way, I'm going to use the heat gun and warm up this vinyl so that it stretches out a little bit better. Makes it just a little bit easier. When that cools, you know, it'll grip tight, and we'll be good to go. So we're going to do that right now. All right, so for a little bit of an action shot here we've got our first couple of hog rings in, holding that material in. Now right now it's not much. I think these things kind of work together to hold it all in place. We're going to get this nice and heated up, a little bit more pliable, and then we're going to be able to keep on moving. Right now I'm just skipping, hard to see, skipping about every one, but we'll keep that moving along here. Like I said, I can't really do this one-handed, just getting it warm right now. We'll snap another ring right basically in one of these here and just keep moving our way along, heating it up as we go. So at this point, we're not exactly done. We've got all the fastening down below the front side. Seat belts are on. Now, we've got this part here. Now, in the original, what happens is this gets tucked down to the back. So if we move around here, I need to clear out this garage. We pull this back. What we're going to do, we have this material again, and we're actually going to tuck it as good as we can. This is going to be pretty tough. We're going to get it down in here, and we're going to hook it off just like we did previously, okay, with this burlap and blanket and all that stuff. So we're going to pull it down in there real deep and then hog ring it to the spring system. Once that's done, we've got a lot of excess here that we're going to, man, this thing's too zoomed in. There we go. We got a lot of excess here that we're going to use to really cinch it down. But the one thing they did not do from the factory, I don't know why, well, there's 2 things. One, there should be cuts here for the seat belts to fit through. I guess really over here, in line with where the seat belts go. Also, on the sides, right here, this is that bracket, or that piece that sticks out, all right? That does not have a hole, so we're gonna have to make a hole, which I really don't want to do. But a box knife ought to take care of that. We'll just put a little cross mark right here and here. Once we get it right where we want it, we'll pull it through, and it should be fine. Maybe there's a, I mean, realistically, it's covered up anyway, so we'll see how that goes. But that's where we're at right now. So once again, I'll have to do this without the camera, but just know you're taking this material, you're getting it down here, and what that'll do is this needs to be basically like this, so that the bracket for the back of the seats is exposed. And yeah, that'll be our next step. So we have the, I know I've noticed that every time I take a break and come back, I say all right or something like that. Sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, so we've got this fastened down in here. You pull this up, you can see down in here where we fastened it. That'll do. And I know you might be able to do a better job than this, but I'm pretty proud of myself, to be honest. And I'm sure there'll be some trolls who are like, you suck. That's fine. Okay? I can live with that. I'm a big boy. But for all of you weekend DIYers, you know what? This is totally doable by any of you. So don't think you can't do it, because you can. All right? So believe in yourself. Now, that's that portion. We just have to flip it over. So hang tight. All right, flipped over. And yeah, so we're going to have to cut a couple notches here for the seatbelt to come through, here and here. And then what we're going to do, I guess, if you really think about it, probably the, you know what, this came undone. To I am going to fix that too while I'm down here. And I may go through and tighten up a few of these, maybe in here, but overall it doesn't look bad. And then the corners are going to be probably the hardest part. And you can kind of get an idea. Sorry, I'm looking at what I'm doing, not what I'm holding in my hands. You can kind of get an idea here of kind of what this is supposed to look like. We want to clean that up and get it as tight as possible. Oops, sorry. So we hide as much of that as we can. Now I'm wondering, now here's the knob, and there's no way that's supposed to be up here. Not that, no, there's no way. If anything, even with thinner foam, it would have just pulled this back further and we would have ended up with more excess on the back. But anyway, that's why I did not clip these yet on the back. I'm going to figure out the best way to get this. I still have photos of the factory one, so I'm going to try to match it up as best I can. I have these toppers here. You know, that's not a very good example either. But we're going to see what we can do here just to clean this up, hide it, make it look nice. So yeah, that's the next step, and I'll be back with you here in a minute once I figure that out, and I'll do some hog rings and all that stuff, but I'm pretty sure you guys don't need to see that in the video. Pull it nice and tight, especially in here. Get it on these spring pieces and give you a nice tight look. Thinking kind of hospital corners out here on the end. So those of you who learn to make your bed that way, you know what I'm talking about. So here's the corners done. And this is how I tucked them in. You can see basically took this big flap here and went over, connected it up here at the top. And then basically kind of tucked these in until I got this V look, which honestly looks okay. I mean, if people are paying that close of attention, then I'm sorry. I may not win a car show with it, but that's fine. That's the way I found to do it. Another hog ring here for this material on the back. And I have this flap kind of just hanging out. I might connect it up here to this piece, but honestly I don't think I can because I think there's a spring that goes here. So, also need to reconnect this. Note to self, we've got the seat belts in. Had to cut those and just pulled this as tight as I could. Probably, maybe could have got a smidge tighter with the heat here on the vinyl. And then last but not least over here, this side, just because of the way the foam was, I wasn't super happy with that. The foam came from Jegs. I mean, it was the best deal going, and it said it fit, but I think you can still see this here, and I'm probably going to figure out that didn't happen on the other side. So I may have to do some more here to clean this up. It's kind of lights in the way there, but yeah, cut out the holes here, just took the box knife, sliced it, and pushed that vinyl over it. So let's flip it over for the reveal. All right, and there it is. Pull this cord down, done with the heat gun for now. And it's got a little dirt on it and stuff, but boy, looks a lot better than what it did in the beginning of this video. You can see here, we still got some of these pieces here, and you could maybe work that out with a heat gun. I think just sitting on it will probably work a lot of that out. And we'll just see from, you know, once it gets in the car, and what is it to remove a front seat? It is what it is. So if I'm not happy with it in the future, I'll just take it out and I'll get to where I am happy. But boy, that looks a whole lot better. And yeah, so next up, we've got the backs. We get those going, I don't know. But anyway, at this point, thanks for watching if you're still tuned in. And I'll try not to leave you two hanging on this, and we'll get those backs done. They're pretty ratty too. Now we're ready for our top piece. Looking it over, this is the back side of the passenger upper, and the only reason why we're starting on this one is just because it was top of our pile on the floor. So for starters, we're going to go ahead and remove this bit of hardware, and it looks like we've got a little Allen set screw down below here. Looks like it was getting a little tight, so we'll remove that. Take this chrome piece off. I don't know yet how I'm going to clean that up. I have a couple ideas. We'll get back to that. First of all, though, I want to go ahead and just get us set up with the new upholstery on here and all that good stuff. Got a screw over here, Phillips. Pretty much everything's Phillips. So we'll go ahead and take that off. Looking at the bottom here, you can see where the hog rings were put. So we need to make sure we get that back that way. Now, there's some listing wire in this. It feels like. I'm going to take a real, sorry about that. I'm going to take a real hard look at this. I want to make sure we get this right when we put it back together. You can see there's a tuck here. They tuck the material down inside. And of course the hole here, cut out. Pretty rudimentary cutout here at the factory. So also, while we have it off, we need to do something about this. Right now it's just a gray. And because this is a Hodge Garage custom job, I don't have any gray paint, but I do have black. So we will clean up this rust here, piece of sandpaper, brush, something. We'll get wire brush, we'll get that cleaned up, and we'll probably hit it with a coat of black paint just to, you know, make it look nice. Because here's the other side of it. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get the trim pieces to fit on there. So they may be exposed, and if that's the case, let's try the black for at least the time being. And if maybe at a swap meet or something in the future, I can find those. I'll put them on. If somebody watching this video knows where to locate those, I would super appreciate it if you dropped it in the comments. I checked Classic Industries. I didn't see them. I might have missed them, but I didn't see them. So anyway, that's where we're at, and that's how we're going to get started here. So we're going to go ahead, take these screws out, and I'm going to come through here, and we're going to get these old rusty hog rings off of here and begin peeling off this old upholstery. All right, so we've got a few things done here. We've got this screws out. We've got this piece out. If you're curious about that, that's a 3/32 is the size of the set screw on this little guy. And then what I'm seeing here is for reassembly. This will probably be the last thing that we connect will be this front side here. So when we go to pull this on, we will connect the back, this side first, and then we'll come in with this bottom flap next for reassembly. So kind of go, you know, reverse order or whatever. That comes out. It does have the listing wire in it that I think we're going to try to reuse that, because this is going to need to be pulled super tight, and any extra help we can get is going to be helpful. So now we're just going to come through here. Actually going to take the vacuum, clean out all of this. I assume it's a mouse nest. Probably a pretty good bet. And clean that out, and then we're going to take these hog rings off here. And yeah, I mean, for the most part, I guess if you really wanted to, you could just like box knife it and cut it off. I'm trying to just follow this, so I kind of get an idea of how the factory put this on, so I know how to put the new stuff on. Update here, we've got basically the hog rings off. Went ahead and yanked the listing wires. This is what they look like. So the long one would be for the front of the seat, and the short one would be for the back of the seat here. And I kind of ripped it a little bit, just trying to get this thing off here. This vinyl's super brittle. I may just go ahead and run a knife down that seam, peel it open, pull it off. That'll probably be the easiest thing to do right now. You know, and I hate it because this right here really, I believe 100% could be cleaned. It's the front, the material, the cloth is just, I mean, you can see this one, that's the driver's side, naturally had the most wear and tear on it. But it just sucks that we can't reuse anything here. except for, I mean, we can't reuse the actual vinyl itself. So, but we're going to reuse everything else. And now we're going to work to get this off. Like I said, I'm going to cut it on the seam and just take it off. Originally, I was going to try to pull it off, but I'm just going to maximize some time here, because videotaping these things does increase the amount of time it takes to do one of these projects. So I'm going to get on that and probably turn back on the video once we've got that taken care of. Maybe clean up a few things like this bracket here, get a little bit of paint on it, and then go from there. Alright, so we've got the piece over there at the back. Alright, we've got this piece here, which I know if you're a Biscayne enthusiast, you might recognize these buttons don't belong on a Biscayne. Yes, that's true. Here's the back seat. Yes, not supposed to be on there. Also, you're supposed to pay extra for those. And I didn't. So, kind of lucked out on that, I guess. That's a nice look. We know this one is the passenger side, based off of this little guy down here. And one thing to check, it does not have the cutout for the thing that pokes through. So we'll take care of that later. Looked like the factory had to do that too, like I showed earlier. One thing to note on the seats, the foam, sorry. There is a letter P on this seat cushion, all right, or back cushion, whatever. The other one has a D. So, I'm sure all the Hodge Garage enthusiasts out there, you know what that means. This is the passenger side. So I'm glad I took a moment and stopped and checked that. We're going to put this side down, and this side will be up, and it kind of tucks into the frame a little bit. And then that's what we're going to do next, is try to get this foam situated on there. And then the hard part, I've never even done it, I'm already calling it the hard part, is going to be getting this piece here onto that whole frame. Might have to enlist the help of the wife. We will see. Also, I have the listing wires. Uh-oh, I'm losing my stuff. I have the listing wires. We're going to run those through here, okay, and here. And that will give us that extra bit of strength. Looks like they probably need to be cut to get that listing wire in there. No big deal. Whoops, sorry. We'll do that, and then we'll move on to, the next phase. So, anyway, let's get this foam on there. Also, we're going to put a layer of burlap on. Just a little extra help to keep from cutting into this. There is some burlap on there currently. If we walk around my disaster area of a garage, you can see original burlap on there. We're going to put one more thing of burlap on. The old foam, if we look at it, actually has burlap on the inside here, so we're just going to mimic that. This is also a lot easier to attach than the new stuff. So, yeah, sometimes the old way is the better way. Anyway, let's hop to it. Alright, so we've got the listing wires installed. I did take some sandpaper and clean those up. They're a little rusty. I just wanted to make sure they slid through. Now, the factory ones, it went through here, not up here. There was actually nothing connecting that to the bottom of the seat when I pulled it off. I imagine it's about the same. It should be identical to this one here. So if you look, yeah, there's nothing holding that on, this top flap, other than what looks like adhesive of some kind from 1968. So yeah, we may put an adhesive on there, might just leave it like that, I don't know yet. So we'll see when we get into that. But that's where we're at, and from here, now it's all about sliding it on. I did leave a few more parts on this one, so we did put the new burlap on the front of this, and did hog ring the foam on in a few spots just to keep it somewhat stable. I tried over here, but man, that just didn't want to work. So I did leave whatever this padding material is on here. And one of the reasons why I did that is I don't have any more of this stuff. And you could, I mean, if you needed it, I think you could use like this fleece blanket here, and put that on and spray adhesive it onto the frame. So if you needed a reference for your car, that's what it looks like and where all it goes. It wraps around the top up here, and there is a space here between the foam and that, but we'll compress that down once we get this seat cover on. That's my new bracket, painted black. Just a can of Rust-Oleum. So that looks better. Like I said, maybe I'll be able to find that at some point. But now it's time to slide this on. And like I said, this may be a two-person job. I'm kind of debating in my head, do I go ahead and ask my wife to come down here and help me? Or do I just try it out? I don't know yet. So anyway, I will come back with this thing slid on here. One thing too we'll have to watch as we're sliding it on is this lever. Debating. You know what? Looks like it attaches with the screw right here. Phillips. I'm going to go ahead and take that off. That hole is big enough to reattach that later. So better safe than sorry. These things cost way too much money to gamble with them not ripping. So I'm going to go ahead, take that off so it slides on a little bit easier. And when we come back, I'll have the seat cover on. And yeah, then it'll be about just cinching it on the bottom there. It seems a little bit simpler than doing that bottom bench. So this will be the final segment of this video, and we have the new seat on here and the hardware. So that little screw there, just basically find a indention, that's where it belongs, and then just took some steel wool to the chrome, and I think that did a wonderful job cleaning this up. And I might take some other polish on it in the future. That's kind of what it looked like originally. You can see how dull it is. It's got that oxidation in it. And now it's nice and shiny. Now the one problem I do have, because I don't hide anything here on my channel, is this here. This seat was quite the pain to get on. It was two people, and of course you just reverse the steps. This is all fastened back on, and I don't know if it's because of the foam or because of the actual seat cover itself or what it was, but we did run into some issues with this fitting as well as we would have liked. Okay, now it's workable. I may, once it's installed, maybe work it some more here, but that padding should not be shown. It's almost like there's not enough material here. And if you look over here at this one, you can see there's so much material it's tucked under inside of it. So yeah, I don't think this is 100% correct upholstery. That's okay, we'll make it work. I'll figure something out. I don't have an answer today for this video. If somebody's watching this and they have an answer for this right here other than, oh, just take it all off and buy the right stuff, blah, 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 okay, whatever. Yeah, that's not helpful. So if somebody has a solution for that, I mean, I've heated it with the heat gun, pulled it, but the problem that you run into with it is there's nothing to fasten it onto. So once you get it pulled back here, there's nothing really, there. So I might try, I don't know, a few other things, but for the most part, that's it. So kind of lift it up here for you to see if I can turn it around. I don't know if y'all can see this. It's a little dirty right now because the table's just a smidge dirty. But man, it's just going to change the whole car. Just a little bit of thing like this should help out tremendously. So bring that back around though. Yeah, so there is a few little spots in here that I'm hoping will just come out over time. I'm not super concerned about wrinkles. This is not a SEMA car. So yeah, this is just, let's get this $3,000 Biscayne back up and running and on the road and looking pretty good, so that somebody's just like, wow, look at that. I haven't seen one of those since I was a kid, or whatever. You know, that's what we're going for. So, you can see, cut this piece in here, and I mean, that's pretty much it. The back seat's going to go on pretty much the same way. I'll post this. I may not get to the back seat for a couple days, so if somebody catches this in the next few days after I post it, feel free to comment and be like, love to see a back seat video. Maybe I'll post a separate video. I don't know yet. But, you know, when you make these videos, it does take a minute. So we're going to go ahead. We'll do the next seat, which is the exact same as this seat. So I'm not super concerned about making a video about that. But I want to get this out there so you can see some progress on that 68 Biscayne. And hopefully, if you've got something similar at home and you're thinking about doing the upholstery, you can totally do it. I believe in you. Okay, even if you don't believe in you. So, anyway, thanks for watching. So, just wanted to conclude the video real fast just with this little note. I've got the seat here, the top piece. And if this video helped you, please make sure that you like and subscribe and leave a comment. You know, I'm not going to answer trolls and everything else, but if you have a comment that's helpful to the group, maybe something you saw that I did wrong, and you want to, you know, critique it in a positive way, absolutely, please do that. I hope that the comment section can be helpful to other people doing this exact same thing. So any sort of construction criticism, I hope this isn't my last upholstery job. I would like to do other cars and trucks in the future. So if you saw me do something and you do upholstery, or you know some tips and tricks, please let me know. I definitely love to hear about it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.